I am alive. Hey, yesterday was the 51st anniversary of the Kent State incident. And it's surprising how much things have changed. Back in those days, when the incident had happened, 58% of Americans agreed with the National Guard. They believed that the National Guard did nothing wrong. And there were people that said that, uh, that hey, they were, and, they were kind of joyful that the people got shot, which is kind of a tragedy within itself. Now, if you mention, like if you even speak uh, favorably or even understanding of what the National Guard was going through, you will be rebuked very harshly. So it shows how much the pendulum has swung in this country as far as law and order is concerned. And the protests there, they could be violent, and they had kind of groups, I guess, kind of like Antifa, that were ready to use force. Uh, I mean, the, the group had burned down an ROTC center, so these protesters were not so peaceful. I mean, there were people that were just walking to class and weren't involved with the protest at all that were shot and killed, and there were others that were shot and wounded as well. But today, and back then, they were in favor of freedom of speech and they wanted to debate. That's not true today. The left does not want to have a discussion at all, and they will say they are a private company. They can do what they want. But I don't think if you own a company, you can do what you want with that company. You have to. There are governmental rules in place when you own a company, particularly if you own a large one. There are certain employees, if a person gets pregnant. So there are all kinds of laws that you have to obey if you have a company. But when they, and of course, the left is all in favor uh, of uh, of these laws when they benefit them, like family leave, and they would be in favor of even more, like they'd be in favor of paid family leave, which would be forced on a company. But when the company is restrictive and says we don't, we're not an open platform, they all of a sudden go, they're a private company, they can do whatever they want. It's kind of the kind of hypocrisy there. They're a private company when they're enforcing rules and restrictions they like, but they must. But companies, there must be laws and other things protecting workers, or even more rules for workers. Of course, if you ask them, should there be paid medical leave, that would be enforced on a private company. Kind of find that, like, yeah, they have very hypocritical standards as far as things like that go. And also, I just want to add that there's anyway, I've been upset, and I do go on Twitter. Facebook has greatly restricted me. I've been kicked off a Facebook page, for posting. I was angry, and I know that it doesn't do any good to act on my anger, but I'm not a I'm not a perfect Stoic, and perhaps by nature I'm a more maybe angry person, and that's something I don't want to be. I don't want to be a person that lets my anger and emotions control me. I want to be able to, reason through things and say, is this the best course of action? Even if I'm right, am I being right in the way in which I act? Because often it's not who's right, but what's right and what's right for the particular circumstances. And I find when I'm doing things on an emotional level, particularly in social media, which they can ban you like at any time, I'm doing things more to kind of provoke the left because of my anger at them. I find them to be, and this is just me, to be major hypocrites. And a lot of the things they believe doesn't stand up to its bootstraps. And that's right now my struggle. And hopefully I can find, someone from the left that's open to dialogue. But a lot of times, man, you don't. I mean, and they are just, some of the viciousness that I've encountered has been kind of surprising. And now, like I said, I'm not surprised. I'm not, when one of them is decent, that's when I'm surprised. When one of them is open and willing to have a conversation, that's more of a surprise than the stereotype. But that's what I see a lot of, and maybe I internalize that and have, I want to attack back, and just I'm really angry. Anyway, I'm fasting as of now. I haven't had an early morning breakfast. I'd like to not eat until about probably 12:30, maybe 1 o'clock. I'll have something to eat. But until that time, I'll keep the fasting. And hopefully, like I said, we can have an open dialogue. I was just reading on Twitter they're going to have a black Superman, and there are people that are within the culture war that are kind of upset about it. And I don't think, part of me doesn't think that it would be that upsetting if the culture war wasn't so divided as it is now. And I think the film will make money because, like if they do a black Superman, it will more than likely make a profit because controversy does sell. I mean, people are talking about it already. I have ideas for movies, and I think they would make money, although I think there may even be protests if anything that I ever put out there on the screen was allowed to be seen. Some people are so fanatical that that they would probably want to blow up the theater. And we are in an age of a lot of fanaticism. It's almost like talking to a pod person, and part of me has to realize that there's no point in talking to someone who is, has fanatical beliefs. You're wasting your time. They're there to have you submit, not to have a discussion with you and not to be civil. And I want to say that human beings are worthy of civility, and they are worthy of rational and reasonable behavior. They may not get it, they may not receive it, but they are worthy of it. Well, this has been Brian with Transparency and Merit. Like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And also visit our website, Transparency and Merit.